Not quite the shorts and t-shirt weather that I was fortunate enough to have in Brazil for the last video. If you haven't seen that one, be sure to check it out. Today is about the first part of the preparation phase for the forehand swing. A simple but crucial technical element that paves the way for an efficient swing with great 1-2 rhythm. If you're unsure what efficient swings and 1-2 rhythm mean, refer back to video 3 where there's a full explanation of these concepts. It's worth having a good understanding of them because we'll keep coming back to them throughout the year, especially when we're looking at technique. Before we start, a quick question. When a player recognises that the ball is coming to their forehand, what is the predominant reaction? Is it to turn the body? Is it to take the racket back? Or is it to do both these things in equal measure? Have a look at the following video clips to check your answer, or indeed to see if you can work it out for yourself. So the correct answer is the turning of the body. It might appear that the racket is moving in some of these clips, but that racket movement is simply a consequence of the body turn and not an independent movement of the arm and racket. We'll have a closer look at these clips again to have a look at this. Whilst we do that, also notice how the opposite hand stays on the racket during this first phase of preparation, and also how the racket is pointing upwards. Notice how in the first instance the body turns and the arms and racket simply come along for the ride. Then see how the left arm stays on the racket in this early preparation phase and the racket is clearly pointing upward. And here the same with Nadal, starts with body turn, opposite hand stays on racket and racket pointing upwards. And finally, the same with Victoria Azarenka. This forehand preparation, initiated by the body turn, with the opposite hand staying on the racket and the racket pointing upwards, is universal amongst high-level tennis players, although the shape and height of the racket does vary quite a bit from player to player. To assess your forehand or to start working on it, simply bear in mind the 3 key points. First, start with the body turn. Keep the opposite hand on the racket, allow the racket to be pointing upwards. As I said, there is variation with this. The racket might be pointing straight up, it might not be pointing up quite so much. The angle of the racket could be varying anything from here right round to here. Don't worry about any of that. Just keep focused on the 3 key points. Start with body turn, keep the opposite hand on the racket, allow the racket to be pointing upwards. The best way to work on this is to simply shadow the movement over and over. Until it feels comfortable, you can then go on to shadow the whole forehand, but for this video, I just want to stick with this preparation phase because it's crucial for developing a great forehand. We'll also now just have a quick look at a broad range of our students demoing this technique. Here's Charlie on the left and Jay on the right. They might be identical twins, but not quite identical forehands. However, both technically strong. Here's Thomas on the left and Leo on the right. 2 quite different looking forehands, but both with all 3 technical elements that we're looking for. And 2 more players with their own style, but both technically strong with the early preparation for their forehand. Arjun on the left and Samantha on the right. So if you're out there hitting your forehands, do be aware of the timing aspect. This preparation phase that we've talked about in this video should be completed roughly just before the ball is bouncing on your side of the net. Then you should be able to feel the swing work for you with good timing. We'll come back to the forehand where we'll look at the rest of the swing in more detail, and we'll also understand how and why this preparation phase is so crucial to setting up an efficient swing with good rhythm. Before we go, just in case that annoying music we had at the start of the clip isn't still in your head, we'd better sign off with it. I'll look forward to seeing you soon on the next video.